Looking for work? Our factory is safe and Monsanto promises to pay you fair. Our factories function the best in the nation because they're based off of cells, which is what we technically usually screw around with, especially in corn. Our factories are directed by the moderator, who issues commands through his bullhorn. In a cell, a kind of moderator would be the nucleus. The nucleus issues commands to the rest of the cell through the nuclear pores, which might be considered as the bullhorn in our factory. A bit about this cell, or the factory, and how it works. The factory is kept functional by the conveyor belts, which move the different materials through the different stages of processing. In a cell, a kind of conveyor belt would be the endoplasmic reticulum. It keeps different molecules and different kinds of proteins going through the different processes and making them into different kinds of proteins. The rejected materials in our factory are sent to the furnace, where they will be destroyed. In a cell, the lysosomes go through the cell and remove unwanted materials or old organisms, kind of like our furnace. Of course, none of our processing would be able to be possible without our generators, which produce massive amount of energy that allow our factory to work. In a cell, the main powerhouses, or generators, are the mitochondria, which produce a lot of energy for the cell, and without it, there would be no way to process or make the proteins that are needed in your body. If you decide to work for us, you will find we have a very reasonable work schedule. You come in at 6:30 a.m. and then you later leave at 5:30 p.m. You can think of going to work as a process of diffusion. You come from the populated suburbs, where it's nice and safe, to the unpopulated factory where it's nice and dangerous. In diffusion in the cell, particles that are plentiful in one area diffuse into an area where they are less populated. Kind of like how you go to work each day. Once you reach the factory, you will have to go through the factory walls, which could be thought of as the cell wall. The cell wall keeps out unwanted particles, just like our walls keep out unwanted people. Once you're inside the factory, you will mostly work on the factory floor, which could be thought of as the cytoplasm, which a cell needs in order to move around. And about halfway through your day, you will be allowed to go to lunch. You can think of the cafeteria in a cell as a kind of valicle, which in a cell stores food or waste products. As another part of the cafeteria would be the ribosomes. The ribosomes produce protein, just like what would happen in our cafeteria. And for the fruit of your labor, of course, the millions of pounds of GMO corn, which is processed here in our factory, will be shipped out in trucks to various places to be turned into every kind of food imaginable and hidden in every product in America. The Golgi complex is somewhat similar to our shipping trucks, because the Golgi complex takes proteins that are processed elsewhere and turns them into more complex organisms and sends them out to help in other places. I hope by hearing this, you will, instead of running away screaming, you will wish to come and work for Monsanto, despite the horrific disasters we create.